How's it going? It's Michael here at San Diego Comic-Con 2024, and I am here with
Allan Henry.
So, Allan Henry, tell us what you do and why you're here.
I am a performance capture artist based in New Zealand, down at Weta FX. I was King Kong and the Scar King in the Monsterverse films, and I was also the Cocaine Bear.
So, were you born and raised in Aotearoa, or are you an expat?
Oh, nice use of te reo. I really appreciate it. I was born and raised in Aotearoa. Yep.
Awesome.
I'm half Maori, half Irish.
Awesome. That's great. So, how long have you been doing motion capture?
Since about 2012, my first gig was working on Tintin. And then it's kind of been pretty solid ever since.
And can you name some of the projects, notable projects that we've seen you in?
Yes, good use of the air quotes. Yeah. Wow, let me see. The Hobbit trilogy, the Apes franchise, a number of Marvel films, obviously the Monsterverse films with Godzilla vs. Kong, Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, The Hunger Games, Maze Runner, Game of Thrones. It's a bunch of stuff.
And how did you get into motion capture?
When I was training, doing my theater training, a teacher pulled some favors and got us to, we managed to go and see Andy Serkis doing King Kong in Peter Jackson's studio. And that was the switch. I realized not only was my passion achievable, but it was in my backyard. And from there, I got to know the people making that work, and we became colleagues. And that was the beginning.
Yeah, so I hear Andy Serkis is many people's motivation for being in motion capture and embracing motion capture. Is there anybody else that you look up to in the business as far as motion capture goes?
Absolutely. There are phenomenal creature performers. Doug Jones, Terry Notary, Haruo Nakajima, one of the original suit actors, Rie Ota. So many. Even in New Zealand, we've got Shane Rangi, Benjamin Francham, Jed Brophy. And, I'm lucky that they're my friends as well as my colleagues, and we get to work together.
So is there anything that you need to wear in order to do your performance captures? Is there like special gear you gotta wear? I'm so curious.
Yeah, it's a gray lycra suit covered in dots. And it's funny, we call it the Great Equalizer because no matter who you are, you don't look good in it. So it's good. It kind of, it lowers the bar so everyone feels really comfortable very quickly.
Right. So is there any advice for someone wanting to get into motion capture, like myself, who is a voiceover actor, wanting to transition into other aspects of the business?
Yeah, wow. I think my advice would be, the advice I was given was put yourself with the workers. So go to where the work is, and then you'll find the people doing the things you want to do. You'll find your people. You'll make those connections. And everything helps. Any kind of physicality helps, whether it's martial arts, dance, sport, climbing trees, jumping off sand dunes. It all helps.
So what's the most challenging part of being a motion capture actor?
The fact that motion capture is so quick. The turnaround times are so fast. We could do anywhere upwards of 75 shots in half a day. And sometimes we've gotten to triple digits of just shot after shot after shot after shot after shot. So it's a lot about endurance.
So explain to me, is there an audition process in order to become a motion capture artist on certain projects? Like, I know you do it for a living, but how do you get your gigs?
Yeah, in New Zealand, it's different. A lot of it is word of mouth. We're a small country and everyone works with each other and we all know each other. But for larger projects, there are audition kind of situations. Cocaine Bear was a Zoom interview with Elizabeth Banks and some of the producers. The Hobbit was an audition process of many days going through physical training. We've just finished work on the Minecraft movie, and that was a casting call process. So it varies and it changes based on project.
Okay. So describe a typical day for you at work.
It's arrive early in the morning, put on the Great Equalizer, the gray suit, warm up, and then stretch, run, jump, climb, grab that thing, hit that guy, fall over that, pick that up, run with it again, rinse and repeat.
So what are the preparations that you do before a job?
Yeah. I'm 42 now, so it's a lot more stretching than when I was 20. Yeah, stretching, a lot of articulation to mobilize myself, so that all of my body is ready and able to go. If there's something specific, like if we're doing a quadruped, I'll get the arm extensions and warm up all of my shoulders and get those going. Maybe do some runs up and down the volume. It's a lot of physical preparation, and then once the animation supervisor or the director or the client comes in, we'll look at what is needed for the character, and then it becomes about the character choices, what story beats do we have to hit, and trying to get a mental image of what the day is going to be, because you have to pitch your energy to last for the whole day.
So I was wondering, how do you navigate injuries? Because the way I navigate my injuries is Icy Hot, Tiger Balm, and Advil.
Yeah. Surprisingly similar, actually. Yeah. Often, like, you want to avoid injuries, but if they happen, it's RICE first, rest, ice, compression, elevation. And then if it's anything serious, then you go and get it sorted out. But a lot of it is about trying to mitigate those injuries, because the last thing you want is an injury to take you out of the game for too long. Right. Both for financial reasons, but also, for your own peace of mind.
Yeah, I noticed you're not wearing any knee braces or elbow braces or even a neck brace.
Thankfully, not yet. Not yet.
Is there any other projects that you look forward to that we can see you on upcoming?
Well, the conversation has started about the next Godzilla Kong installment. And I just saw that apparently they've talked about the possibility of a Cocaine Bear 2. So who knows?
Any more tea that you can spill on your upcoming projects?
Oh, no. Yeah. They're always watching, especially here.
So, Allan, any advice you have to the audience out there on how to get started in any aspect of this business?
The biggest piece of advice is, if you love it, just do it. Find your people, find people to collaborate with, and just make it. And it doesn't have to be perfect right away. Just give yourself time to grow. And if you just do it every day, it's just like a workout at the gym. You go every day, you do what you need to do, even for a short amount of time. In 6 months, in a year, you will be so much better at it. And if you love it, pursue it. Like, you might as well, right? You only got one life.
And how do you navigate challenges as a Pacifica artist? Are there any?
There are many challenges, yeah. Being Maori, there's not a lot of representation, but also being from New Zealand at the bottom of the planet, it's very difficult and very expensive for projects to travel to and from New Zealand. So, yeah, I think there are a lot of challenges. I don't know if they're different from anyone else's kind of challenges.
Right.
I think they're just a little different flavor, maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fantastic. Anything else you'd like to say to the IdeateTV audience out there?
Embrace your inner nerd. Be weird. It's awesome.
I think that's a given already. Well, thank you, Allan, for your time, and we appreciate you being on IdeateTV.